amazing Anna. Welcome to Spark TV. I'm so excited to have you here.
Hello, hello, hello. Thank you for having me.
It's so exciting. And we are recording this just before Christmas. So we're all very excited about the holiday break.
Yes, yes.
So good. Now let's start off by telling everyone who you are and what you do.
All right. Hello, everyone. So my name is Jarvie. My business is Aligned Health and Lifestyle. We just entered the third year, which is very exciting. Also very hard.
Congratulations for making it this far.
Thank you all. There were a lot of moments when I was like, why am I doing this?
Yeah. Oh my God.
But
I'm
you
12
know,
years in and I still have those moments.
yeah. So, but going, head straight on and keep marching. It's one step at a time. Keep
Yes.
consistent. That's where all of the magic happened. If you are consistent with a lot of things, it's not just a business, it's also in your personal life. Also, if you are an athlete, because I'm also an athlete, I'm a bodybuilder and I do bodybuilding competitions.
Wow.
So yeah, there's a lot of things which also came from there when it comes to health, what is healthy, what is not healthy, because I think a lot of people a little bit confused in this world of social media. Kind of we
Mm.
don't know what healthy actually is.
Yeah. Oh my God,
Um,
that's so true. I feel like you look at some people who are like super skinny, some people who are super fit, some people who are super muscly, some people who maybe don't look like the ideal standard, and you're kind of like, what am I supposed to be?
yeah, yeah. And I think I always tell people you need to be you. You cannot be following
Mm.
everyone else. And you just have to do you, and you have to connect to you, to your body, to your mind. It has to work. I think we're living in this very fast-paced life where people are very disconnected.
Yeah.
And your body is very clever. It tells you what it needs, but we are very blind to listen.
Yes.
And it also now, when we enter in Christmas, it's a very big time, very hard time for a lot of people, a lot of business women, because you want to put everyone in front of them, like everything has to open, but you always sitting in the back seats.
Mm.
And we are kind of conditioned to think that's how it should be, because if you put ourselves first, like heaven forbid, I was like, oh, that's selfish. There's no time for us. Like, hello. But again, I am very sure every single businesswoman knows you can't pour from empty cup.
Hmm.
We just don't quite, act like that as well.
Yeah, it's like we know the information, we know we need to look after ourselves, but we don't.
Yes, yes, exactly. And that's where all of the idea also started when I started health and wellness. Think, well, if you asked me 5 years ago, do you want to have your own business? I will tell you, are you on something? Absolutely not. I was in hospitality for 12 years. I had really, really a good career and I loved it. But COVID happened and everything sort of changed. And I realized that I don't want to go back to hospitality. It's just, yeah, it was just like this moment. And I also suffered with a lot of health issues back then.
Yeah.
And you go to the doctor, it's like, oh, I have this, I have that. Oh yeah, take this, take that. And it's like, surely it's not always about pills, is it? But if you don't know, you don't know. You trust the doctors, right?
Yeah, absolutely. That's what we're taught, right? Is they are the person that knows how to fix us.
Yes, exactly. So I kind of listened for a while, but I was can't carry on like this. And then I've been introduced to network marketing for one health and wellness company, and that's how it all started. It was sort of just for me, maybe having a little bit of extra cash on the side, but kind of learning a little bit more, because back then I was not really sure what health and wellness is, what well-being actually means. And
Mm.
I would be the one who would be always after work opening a bottle of wine. And, like I thought it's healthy, right? Everyone else does it, so it's healthy, right? But it was not really. And I never really listened to my body either. I didn't know how to do it. But then, as the time went, you started to learn a little bit more, a little bit more, a little bit more. that's also where bodybuilding came, into the thing. Again, it was not something I planned. It just happened. I always admired those people since I was 20, but I was like, I don't have that dedication. When you are 20, it was like, oh, I love to look at it, can't do it. But then, when I hit my 30, and I was like, maybe it's the time.
Give it a
Um,
go. Why not?
and again, I gained a little bit more knowledge, but still it was like, oh, it still needs something else. And my very good friend and also coach back then told me, I was like, why don't you start nutrition? Why you not learning a little bit extra? You're already giving, ideas and tips and things to everyone around.
Mm.
So you might as well. It seems like it's your passion. Why don't you try? Okay, I'll start studying nutrition. Again, still I wasn't sold on the idea I'm going to have my own business. It's just all happened, and here we are, third year in, doing more things I love, which is educating people when it comes to nutrition. Actually help them to thrive, to feel good, but really truly feel good. Get rid of all of these crazy diets, bashing themselves at the gym constantly and never seeing results. I see people at the gym day in, day out, 1 year, 2 years, 3 years. It's like, aren't you just sick of seeing the same thing and doing so much? And I said, yeah, I just cannot get out. And I said, because you're not listening. Your body is telling you, and
Wow.
you just cannot just step back and listen. And I think a lot of people just need to be at the time where I heard enough to change.
Yeah,
And
sometimes you need to like, I mean, I hate to use the phrase rock bottom, but
mhm,
sometimes you kind of need to be like, okay, sick of your own bullshit,
mhm,
or
mhm.
hit rock bottom, or be in so much pain that you go, right, something's got to change. I think
Yes.
that that's true for not just health and wellness, in a lot of areas of life, right? Relationships, business, career. Like sometimes we just don't listen to what we need. We wait until the pain is so much greater than staying, the pain of staying where we are is so much greater than making that change.
Yeah. And like there's another saying, what you're not changing, you're choosing.
Oh my God. Yes.
And
1,000%. That is so true.
and when it comes to health and wellness and nutrition, I also find, being in this space for now a few years, what I've also noticed, as you probably hear my accent, I'm not Australian. I'm originally from Slovakia, all the way from Eastern Europe. I've been in Australia for over 6 years now.
Oh, amazing.
And I was talking about this with someone who's also from Europe, and she's like, "Don't you think people here in Australia have more problems with mental health and well-being than anywhere else in Europe, which is much tougher?" And she was like,
Mm.
yeah, I had the same conversation. And I was like, just why is that?
Why do you think it is?
I think people here are very, maybe probably a lot of people are going to hate me for this,
That's okay.
grateful, like what you have. We just don't see how much you have.
Yeah.
And I think you just get given so much and you just don't appreciate it anymore. I think
Wow.
that's sort of,
That's really interesting because I mean, it's actually funny. I was having this conversation with my husband. I was complaining about something. And then we started watching this show about it's a really old show on, I think it was on the ABC, and it's called You Can't Ask That. And it talks about all these marginalized communities in Australia, and it's basically all the bad questions that people would want to ask, they actually answer. And there's homeless people, there's disabled people, there's people who've been in accidents, there's all of this stuff. And he made the comment about oh well, maybe life isn't so bad, is it, about whatever I was whinging about. And I was like, yeah, but it's levels, like there's just different levels of complaining, and we're all like living our own circumstances. But I do think there's, something to what you're saying, in the sense that it's like we just get so used to what we have that we stop being grateful for it. Like we go, oh, I've had this crap customer today. And so now all of a sudden I forget about the amazing life I have, the amazing business I have, the amazing house I live in, like all of this stuff, because of having this bad experience.
yeah,
Sometimes I think we just forget about how lucky we are in Australia.
Yeah. Yeah,
Yeah.
I think that also I always ask people, how do you start your day? Is it with
Mm,
gratefulness or is it with some shitty already things like, oh my God, I need to do this, I need to do that. If you really shift that energy straight in the morning before you even step on the floor, and not to really say three things you are grateful for. I know like it
uh,
sounds very easy and it's like, oh, surely it's not working. You're just going to shift that energy if you're going to constantly do it every single day. It doesn't have to be anything huge, simple things. You have clean water. Some people don't. You know, you have amazing weather. Some people don't. Look at people in England, raining every day.
yeah, it's true. Oh my God, so true.
You know, and all of those things, it just change your vibration, change, you rewire your brain to something else, and the things actually start shifting.
I love that.
You will have also much higher tendency to have better breakfast than just scald the coffee on an empty stomach and running out of the door because you actually want to nourish yourself. I think
Mm,
that's also where it also plays crucial part, especially here. The food quality is not 100%. Now when I'm kind of digging everywhere into food more and more and the food industry and everything what is out there, you're actually starting to see little signs like what actually healthy is, what actually marketing pursue as healthy. And if you are
mm.
not very knowledgeable about food, you wouldn't know. You see, it's like, oh my God, high protein, no sugar, no this. Yes, what you're gonna buy. Look at another side that is 16 ingredients. Like, what is that?
Yeah, totally.
And when people say when they go to shops, I was like, oh, the healthy aisle. But hold on, what is the rest of the shop?
Yeah. Yeah.
And I think people don't really stop and think about those things because again, we're rushing. For Christmas, you need to have this, you need to have this. You don't have to. We're just
Mm,
making it more than it needs to be because a lot of people like, I'm doing this massive Christmas party for all of the people and friends who's gonna come. And I said, who are you trying to impress? Like majority of the things that people are not gonna even eat. Majority of them they have kids. Is there's gonna be just finger food, whatever, and the rest you're gonna put in the bin, right? And she said, oh yeah, pretty much. That's every single year. And I said, why would you even waste the time, the money? And like
yeah.
it has no value for other people really, just to see us like, oh yeah, she's done all of these things.
And
Less
like
if more.
this, and even the stress that's associated with that right now. Like, it's funny that you say that because my mum has been texting me all morning because they're doing a Christmas thing at her house and she's just so stressed and so over it and so cranky. And I'm like, it's not supposed to be about that, like, who cares? Everyone will just come and have a drink and have a good time. Like, they
Yeah.
don't care, but it turns into weeks of stress because it's got to be perfect. It's got to be right. It's got to be all of these things. And I'm like, you're just self-inflicting all of this
Mhm.
stress onto yourself. And that's not healthy.
I think perfection, I think we need to get bit ease
Over
on
it.
perfection as well, and also expectations from other people and judgment from other people, because a lot of people do not want to be judged. So it's like, oh, I just prepare very little, and then people were not happy, or they were judgy. Who cares? On Christmas, who cares?
Yeah. Oh my God. I'm so glad we're having this conversation too, because I'm going through this even personally with presents.
Yeah.
I'm like, well, I don't want presents because I don't want to just have more junk in my house. And I
Mhm.
don't want to give presents because of that same reason. And it's like, and I don't value that. I'm like, I would rather you call me during the year and we connect as humans than just to go, here's an obligatory present at Christmas time. But then everyone's calling me the Grinch. So I'm like, but it's like, why? It's almost like there's this set of rules around Christmas and we feel like we have to tick all of these boxes. And if we're not doing that, then we're failing as a wife, a mother, a family member, a friend. And it's just like, what about we just love each other,
Mhm.
have good connections? And I don't know. It's a wild time.
I think it's also because it's not good enough.
Yeah.
It needs to be something, you can touch. It needs to be, what's the word? You need to sort of,
Tangible.
You know, people need to
Yeah.
spend money on it, otherwise it has no value. But I think
Yeah.
people don't see the value in sending love, sending
Yeah.
the, you know, you send a text or you pick up the phone and things like that. And I think things are slowly shifting. But a lot of people needs a bit of reminder it's not about presents. If you're giving me a present which you spend zero time to think about whether I need it or not, I don't want it.
Yeah.
You know, even with my husband, I said to him, he's like, "Oh, what do you want for it?" I want something that I can use. It's usable. I don't want anything that's gonna be collecting dust.
Yeah.
You know, like I want something which I can use. For example, you know, like he always gives me a massage voucher every year. And I said, I
Oh,
want
that's
something like
cool.
that. You
Yeah.
know, I said, get me something for my office. He was like, for the office. And I said, yes, because I can use it.
I did. Oh my God, I did that too. My husband just purchased new things for the podcast studio. So in 2025, I'm like, so at the moment I just sit at my desk. So this is just
Mhm.
my office. And I'm like, in 2025, I want like a new podcast studio. So we have a spare room. And so we're like setting that up as a cute little studio. And I'm so excited. But it's so funny because it's like, he's like, are you sure? Because that's for the business. That's a business expense. And I'm like, yeah, but it's not one I would make. I just wouldn't do it.
Mhm.
So I'm like, it is a present because it means that I get to level up in my business. I get really excited by that. Like I wouldn't do it for myself, but it's so useful.
Yeah. Yeah. No, I 100% agree. And, you know, I'm all about, you know, like use it, you know, and just, you know, sometimes you just maybe don't buy anything if you just, oh yeah, just here we go.
Yeah.
I don't believe we should be giving gifts, you know,
Mm,
it's, yeah, just saying something nice to someone, it can mean
yeah.
a lot. Um, Simply, like we said, pick up the phone.
I love
Just
that. I
pick
love
up
it.
the phone. Back in the days, they didn't have phones.
Yes. We now have the technology to connect with each other as
Yeah.
humans.
And also,
So,
you know, take time off for Christmas.
mm,
I know, look, not everyone is going to be able to do that. But
yeah.
as a business owner, you can. You just choose not to. It's a choice.
It's so true. I've like blocked out my calendar to take 2 weeks of no meetings, but I'm
Mhm.
already going, awesome. Now I can do these 100 things that were on my list that I didn't get to during the year.
Well, as long as it's kind of spread across, so there's a
Yeah.
little bit, because then also comes a little bit of guilt as a business owner.
Mm.
Oh, I'm taking all of this time. I should have done this. Oh my God, I could follow up on this thing, or I could, you know, make something else. No, I think we need to step back, at least for a few days during the Christmas, and actually get a little bit clear picture and look in our business or on our business from the
Yeah.
far.
Yeah. Someone once said to me as well, like if you're doing work outside of hours, so like holidays or when you get home or whatever, don't do like the admin-y, crappy, boring stuff. Like go use that time to think strategically about the business. Like think about all the things that light you up and get you energized and excited. And it's like if you're gonna do it in those kind of times, do the great work, like do the exciting, high, big picture stuff. Because that will actually bring you energy rather than like bury yourself in your to-do list.
Yeah, just do something creative, create
Mm.
something like different, like bring a little bit of you into business around this time, you know, like really think out of the box, you know, like where is the magic I can use next year.
Yeah, I love that. This will go out in the beginning of 2025. So there's very likely to be some women in business who are listening and they're like, oh my God, I had a break and I don't even feel energized for the year. Are there any like tips that you would give women in business to help them like start 2025 like with some really good energy and momentum?
I will circle it back what I said on the beginning. Start with the gratitude. Look
Mm,
into how you're starting your day. That would be the number one. You know, see how you can improve your nutrition. You know, simple, basic things. Do not jump to any stupid, crazy diets because that's going to, or not with the attitude, new year, new me. Oh, please.
in the bin. Yeah.
Yeah, a long time should be in the bin. um, Yeah, and start to really see how can you nourish your body more to actually fuel, get the power. If you want to start the year with power, you need to have the fuel. If there is no
Mm,
fuel, there would be no power.
yeah, that
There
is
would be
so
no
true.
speed. The gears gonna be very dry to turn. So actually really think of how can I fuel my body, my mind with something really productive, something really nourishing, so I can really make that 2025 like the rock party.
I love that. Yeah, fuel. It's so, I think sometimes we just run from meeting to meeting, grab a quick something, and it's like, how can we expect to show up energized and be excited for our businesses when we're not actually giving ourselves the fuel that we need?
Yeah. One other thing I would like to say is run your body like you're running your business. I'm very
Mm,
sure that you would be pouring a lot of fuel to your business. Why don't you put that fuel to your body?
I love that.
And yeah, because a lot of people are very unnourished, and like you said, meeting to meeting, jumping here, replying to emails, but also, did you prepped for all of those meetings? Why not prepped all of your foods and things like that as well in the background? So you
Yes.
just literally you have something ready because you're ready for your meeting. I'm very sure you're ready for your meeting. You're just not ready for you.
Oh my God, I love that. Yeah, I love the concept of run your body like you run your business.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I think that's where it all started, and that will leak everywhere else. Food and everything else in your life and business is very much related. It's just not making sense for a lot of people who doesn't have much knowledge when it comes to food and nutrition. I was like,
Yeah.
oh yeah, forget it. Really, if you think about it, your gut is your second brain. If it's not happy, the mind is not happy. And when people say, oh, trust your gut, trust your gut. Well, if it's not working well, would you trust it?
Oh my gosh, it's so true. It is that, how can you, yeah, it's like, why would you trust a system that you're not putting good inputs into?
Yeah. Yeah.
Mm,
So yeah,
incredible.
I
Love
hope
it.
all of those things are really gonna spark some people in the sport community to actually really give big to yourself.
I think that is beautiful. What an epic way to end. Now, I always love to wrap up these podcasts with one last piece of advice. So, reflecting on your time in business, what would be one piece of advice that you would give to another woman on her business journey?
I need to pick one, no pressure. Uh, um, give yourself time to be great.
Mm.
First few years, get good at business, not get rich. Get that idea first. Let's get good before I get rich. And
Oh,
keep consistent.
I love it so much. It's so important to give ourselves that time and take the pressure away from, I'm going to go viral, I'm going to be a millionaire overnight, like all of those get rich quick schemes or grow quick schemes. Yeah, I love that. Give yourself the time to be great. That's a beautiful sentiment.
Yeah, well, my first year, I was like, no, first year we're making 100 grand. You know,
Yeah.
that's it. No question asked. I was like, oh, that was very wrong. And the second year, okay, we're going for that 100K, And I said, no, Anna, you need to learn. You
Yeah.
really need to, that instant gratification we all want. It needs to take time. And that's also something I've learned through my bodybuilding journey because I've been doing it for 4 years. That's something actually really fueled my journey in business as well, because you have to be really dedicated and disciplined and keep on track.
Yes.
So yeah,
Oh, absolutely incredible. Anna, thank you so much for your time, for sharing your story and your insights and your wisdom with the Spark community. That was absolutely beautiful and so many great practices that we can bring into our business. So thank you so much for your time.
thank you.